What do you guys think about the fact that Elon Musk says now that he thinks Disney will make a change? He thinks they can't continue with this woke path they've been on.
You asking me?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll ask Paul if you don't want to answer.
Well, no, I was going to say jump in, Paul. Sorry, go. I was going to let other people go.
I mean,
do you agree with Elon? Do you agree with Elon? Do you drive a Tesla? You don't drive a Tesla.
No, I don't do that.
You love the combustion engines.
Yeah, I love ICE engines. I think it's
that sound you love.
And I like the Tesla. I like what he's doing. I like competition. I mean, that's the competition should not be legislated. I mean, Disney has now, I think, even with all the educated speculation that all you much more educated individuals are doing right now, it has entered a zone that I don't think we've ever seen any entertainment entity of its size. Like it's almost like we're trying to find what all that stuff in the universe that we can't weigh. What is it? Black particles? Like we just don't know anymore.
Dark matter.
Dark matter. That's right. And I don't mean Jada Pinkett Smith, but
get that woman's name out your
mouth.
Out your mouth.
And it's just entered a zone that I think. I mean, I'm not trying to insult you, but I think it's even beyond you guys. Like, it's just so weird.
We're trying to keep up.
You're trying to keep up, yes, and I think you're trying to do a good job. But wow, stuff is happening that we're not going to hear about until much later.
Have you ever seen a company that is based on the market? I mean, it needs the market to stay alive, and it apparently hates the market.
I've never seen anything.
It can't be sustainable. MedMud's right.
Yeah.
Some of the companies have dabbled in not appealing to the market. Netflix did for a bit, and I think I give them credit for the U-turn that they did.
Yeah, Cuties
I saw the Mark Wahlberg movie, and that's a complete U-turn from Cuties and all the garbage that they had attempted to do earlier. Somebody there went, "Crap, this ain't working. We better
we're screwed.
We better change," and they did. They did. I think Netflix is the poster child for how to get out of this woke bullshit.
But I think you're right. Yeah, I mean,
maybe Disney should hire some Netflix folks.
No, the problem with Disney is that their legacy is so deep in terms of social justice interested individuals, let's call it. I saw it back in the early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they've had a perfect score from the Human Rights Council since 2007, I think is what it said.
That's usually a bad sign.
Probably not a good sign, given what we know about Disney otherwise. So they're ticking all of the vacuous virtue boxes and none that really matter.
So we haven't seen any evidence of them changing their spots.
Nope. And I was going to say, MedMud, if you haven't seen this yet, Paul, I don't know if you've caught this one yet either. Just go ahead and play it. It's only a minute long.
If we're going to fight the woke mind virus, then the woke mind virus will fight back. And unfortunately, Disney is deeply infected with the woke mind virus. In fact, if you ask an AI, what is the most woke company on earth, it's Disney.
Really?
You know? But
Elon don't give a poo.
And you have to say, I think they should be asking themselves, what would Walt Disney think of Disney today? I think he's turning in his grave. I think he's not happy.
Sure.
You know, if the namesake of the company is not happy, that's probably a bad sign, you know? Because Walt Disney, what did he care about? He cared about bringing joy to people's lives. He making wonderful things that children and families could enjoy. He created some of the coolest, art in the world, and stuff that even 100 years after it's created, we still remember it. And it's still a major thing. But you have to say, how great was Walt Disney? It was amazing. But now, Disney, at least for now, is deeply infected with the woke mind virus. I think that will change over time.
I hope so. You're right.
The fact that he's using a lot of these words makes me wonder if he's not listening to a lot of us. Like, I'm pretty sure he might listen to like Gary and stuff, because Gary used to work for him.
Some people might.
He said he met him like once or twice.
I've heard some people say that Musk really doesn't have a a dog in this fight, but he knows, because I would say that Twitter was probably the second worst woke company in California, maybe up there. So if you're talking about knowing about a woke company, he does, and he dismantled it. He can recognize it. So no one should be saying that he can't recognize what a woke company looks like.
Yeah, I'm not saying that at all. But he also
no, I'm not accusing you of that. I'm just saying that.
Real quick, I want to let you guys keep going. I need to do two little housekeeping things very quickly here. Number one, joining us is the great Ron Coleman of Ron Coleman Nation. What's up? How you doing, Ron?
Greetings. How are you guys doing?
That's right.
Doing good. I'm doing real good. I'm sorry. Going back to this Elon commentary, Tom, Ron, Paul, thoughts on this? Ron, I'm assuming you heard that backstage as we were playing it. So feel free to share your thoughts since this came up. I mean, Elon, and this is not the same comments that he made a week ago about, Walt would be spinning in his grave. This is new. He is now doubling down. He keeps adding more to it. Every time the Disney topic comes up, he restates what he said before, and he adds another gut punch on top of it. So what do y'all think?
Did you know why he's right? I don't know if you saw my video on Disney hates Walt. Walt
I haven't seen it yet, but they do.
Disney has been MIA during this entire 100th year anniversary.
Yep.
How much do you hate the guy who is your namesake than to leave him out? And I've had all sorts of rebuttals and people saying, oh, he's an anti-Semite and he's anti-communist. He turned people in. And I mean, you know what? A lot of that isn't true. I'm not here to rebut things, but the point is, this is the dude who your company is named after, and you have done nothing with him. This is insane. That is prima facie proof of the fact that you hate his guts, and you don't know what to do with him, and why your company sucks now.
The creatives that Iger has put in charge, and we're going to talk more about this later, with his DEI programs, which are going to face problems in the court system. And Ron, you can speak to this later, because of course we just recently had a landmark case decided against Harvard and its admission practices, saying that no, you cannot use affirmative action in DEI to select students and award scholarships, because that violates the Civil Rights Acts. And I think Disney has a similar problem here, because the biggest sin that Walt has committed is that the people in charge of creativity now at Disney, and go back and watch the Reimagine Tomorrow videos, Walt is white and male and old, and he's a boomer, or he was a boomer.
Yeah. Well, and this is what I was arguing.
I mean, he was
arguing with Yellow Flash last night about exactly this, because they were all like, well, why, they couldn't, he was basically arguing that they couldn't fight any further to keep Mickey. And I'm like, no, they're allowing Mickey to go on purpose, because he is a symbol of Walt Disney, because they are embarrassed by their Walt Disney history. And I agree. Paul is 100% correct. I think that's the only reason they didn't try to extend that copyright any longer.
They are really embarrassed by promoting a straight white guy.
Well,
they are. I said, how is it not a no-brainer that every month this year you didn't have at least 2 Disney classics in theaters remastered? Like, it's the 100th anniversary of Walt Disney. Like, what how could you not?
Why is Snow White not back in theaters?
Snow White should have been out in January already, and it should have been Snow White and Pinocchio out in January.
And
Bambi and Peter Pan or something like that out in March, and go on down the road. Yeah,
they would have outperformed their new stuff.
Wait, they had just remastered Snow White for a 100th anniversary
and
release
Cinderella,
on physical media, and Cinderella. They remastered them. They could have gone right into theaters with them, because they did. They already remastered them
my point.
for 4K. I'm adding to you. Yeah.
And if you're going to set up that wretched movie Wish as your sine qua non of reaching back into the past, well, Wish was actually based on the song from Pinocchio, and their live action Pinocchio was beyond horrible. That got buried pretty quickly on Disney Plus. So they're shooting, they're running on no cylinders, like nothing. it seems to me that 6 months before the 2023, someone went, "Hey, this is our 100th anniversary coming up, eh? Whoa! Oh, jeez!
Honestly, I think that's probably why I think they had initially had planned on having Snow White out this year, didn't they? Before the strikes and all that business. So I think that was kind of part of it. And Wish was as well.
The initial release date for it, but they should have had the brand new
was it?
Snow White
Okay.
out. We should have had it out this year.
March, I
Two
think.
quick
Was
points.
March slot Pro.
Point number one, we have come across some information that Disney may be looking to slime Walt Disney as a method of generating support for the new Snow White and for Rachel Zegler. We're going to be breaking that on my channel probably on Tuesday. You got to get all the ducks in a row there.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing,
really? They're going to slime Walt?
Well, yes, and we've actually got some articles we're going to be showing.
Whoa!
But the other thing is that Tom brought up this issue about Mickey Mouse. One of the problems that Disney has is when they politicize their company to such a degree, they no longer had the ability to persuade at least half the aisle to help them out with the copyright. And so that's one of the things that they tanked was their ability to navigate the political spectrum when they decided to integrate themselves fully into just one particular political position. Mm-hmm. And so they don't really have the ability to make friends and shake hands. They are despised by half the country now.
And Pro, I had this ready to go actually for us this afternoon. The recent article that you guys, along with John.
Oh yeah,
Trent,
that's a different issue, and it's
but
majorly
it's
worthwhile.
in the same vein,
yes.
right? I mean, so it's this idea that they're trying to create, and of course we've been bantying about on Twitter, about this Weber Shandwick outfit that is basically just a woke mind virus PR firm that everybody from Disney and everybody else has been using to lever, and we see the bots from them pop up on Twitter all the time.
And I'll say this too, Valiant, if people knew who the source was for that article, it would blow their minds.
Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.